I see, and they also, I mean, there's a myriad of things that they've turned out to have the #1 vehicle on. And I think that's because of good judgment on Jim Farley's part. He and his team, their profitability is going to drop like a rock. I mean, there's no point to have a dealership if they can't do oil changes or fix your blown head gasket or something like that.
So most of the cars that we're involved with right now, we have 4 vehicles that we're working on, and in all those cases, they're brand new designs. Going backwards doesn't really work. And as a matter of fact, good example is the Kia Niro that we had a look at. That car can do ICE, it can do HEV and EV. And in essence, basically what you wind up with is something that isn't extraordinarily good for any of them, but you can squeeze them all in. And
in this video, Sandy Munro welcomes us to witness the wonders of Tesla's most recent progressions firsthand, from model correlations with the progressive octo valve and innovative magnum opus, reclassifying productivity and execution, to the notable steps in wiring outfit innovation. Tesla is revamping the standards of auto designing. With each advancement, go along with us as we reveal the insider facts behind Tesla's transient ascent. Also, investigate the visionary advancements that promise to reshape the car industry. Always from the smooth plan studios to the clamoring creation lines, we'll find how Tesla is pushing the limits of plausibility and producing a way toward a more supportable future. So snatch your seat and hang on close as we set out on this invigorating excursion into the core of advancement with Sandy Munro as our believed guide. We're going to observe the future of transportation unfurl before our very eyes. However, before we dive further, make sure to show your help by loving this video and subs buying into Tesla stock news. So undone, let's kick this video off. Here's something that could amaze you. Sandy Munro, an industry master, has revealed a few surprising disclosures about Tesla. Indeed, you heard that right. All through Sandy Munro's intensive trying, he has uncovered disparities between what Tesla cases and what they convey. Spectrometer readings, as made sense of by Sandy Munro, have shown that what Tesla promotes as standard is really top of the line. Take, for example, the examination between the Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y. After Sandy Munro's point-by-point examination, more than 250 ideas were given to Tesla for cost decrease, and item smoothing out a portion of the issues were incredibly clear, like the unnecessary intricacy of the Model 3's backside, which Sandy Munro found had over 100 superfluous parts and activities. Improving on it down to one section, as Sandy Munro suggested, was an easy decision. Then, at that point, there was the storage compartment pail, a massive gathering that Sandy Munro proposed could undoubtedly be supplanted with a straightforward plastic case, an amazing miracle. When the Model I carried out, it highlighted only 2 super castings, a couple of sections, and negligible latches. They even coordinated shock mounts, spring mounts, and suspension areas into the giving system, a role as made sense of by Sandy Munro. It was a fantasy to gather. Simply throw the parts in and done. More. Tesla's engineers took Sandy Munro's input to heart, incorporating extra highlights like shock mounts, spring mounts, and suspension areas straightforwardly into the projecting interaction. Its creative methodology further smooths out gathering, making the whole interaction a breeze for plant laborers. As Sandy Munro makes sense of the end result, is out and out of fantasy for get-together groups, a fitting and play arrangement where parts easily fit together, demanding insignificant investment and work. This consistent incorporation of parts exhibits Tesla's obligation to constant improvement and highlights the organization's capacity to interpret criticism into substantial plan improvements. This quick execution of criticism, as Sandy Munro underscores, is surprising in the car business. Commonly, changes require broad administrative cycles, yet Tesla acted quickly. Such fast variation, as Sandy Munro features, is for all intents and purposes unheard of and could mean something bad in other organizations. Talking as a matter of fact, Sandy Munro takes note of that quick changes like these are uncommon in his time at Portage. Proposing enhancements frequently met opposition and regulatory obstacles, yet Tesla's responsiveness, as Sandy Munro notices, is a much-needed refresher. It's a demonstration of their obligation to development and client input, and trust me, in the car business, that is extraordinariness. Sandy Munro, sharing his encounters, coincidentally found a strategy to access the money page of his PC. By fiddling with the CO's link, this permitted him to follow extra undertaking reserves and redistribute them. However, his drive prompted buying new apparatus for the manufacturing plant. It didn't sit well with the board and might have cost in his work. In one more example, while working in the motor division, Sandy experienced issues with chamber head bolts in Cleveland. He proposed a feeder framework to smooth out the interaction, lessening difficult work and guaranteeing program bolt position anyway obtaining the important parts represented a challenge resolute. Sandy took matters into his own hands, buying spare parts and building the framework utilizing local area provided parts. In spite, Sandy features the significance of encouraging a culture of advancement. A considerable lot of his initial recruits were people who had been given up effectively overseeing heat trade processes. The octo valve adds to improving of the octave valve, highlights Tesla's all encompassing way to deal with designing where mechanical, what's more, electrical parts are consistently coordinated to accomplish ideal execution. This interdisciplinary approach mirrors Tesla's obligation to pushing the limits of car advancement and rethinking the conceivable outcomes of electric vehicle innovation through cutting-edge imaging strategies. For example, CT filtering and X-beam imaging. Sandy gives extraordinary knowledge into the complicated plan and usefulness of the octave valve. That these cutting-edge advancements permit Tesla specialists to envision and investigate the part's internal functions with unmatched accuracy, working with ceaseless refinement and advancement, joining mechanical inventiveness with electrical ability. Tesla has created a pivotal warm administration framework that sets new principles for productivity and execution in the auto industry. As Tesla proceeds to push the limits of advancement, the octave valve remains as a demonstration of the organization's faithful obligation to driving advancement and molding what's in store. Transportation, contrasting it with customary PTC radiators, saw as in other vehicles, Sandy calls attention to the huge energy investment funds gave by the octo valve. He stands out this from the Puma Y Pace, which uses an intensity siphon, however misses the mark in proficiency and space use. As indicated by Sandy, the octave valve not just beats the I-Pace, yet in addition takes up essentially less space, offering a more smoothed out, also incorporated arrangement featuring the unrivaled plan of Tesla wiring saddles, particularly in dealing with high voltage lines. Sandy highlights the immense contrast between Tesla's methodology and that of other automakers. Notwithstanding the apparent benefits, Sandy communicates worry over the disinterest from North American vehicle organizations in his reports, while Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and surprisingly, some European organizations have shown interest. This divergence brings up issues for Sandy, as he hasn't gotten any input from American automakers like Portage or GM, regardless of positive reactions from Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Nissan, and others. A pattern leaves him both astounded and troubled about the fate of development in the North American auto industry. It is exceptionally canny clarification, and it, as a matter of fact, seems okay. Such a lot of that it brings significantly more financial backers for Tesla. It gets certainty and inspiration. The organization, however, do you have any idea who else shares in Tesla idealism? That would be the present support looking for alpha when it comes to Tesla's noteworthy development. It's not just about seeing from the sidelines for Tesla bulls and those with a sharp eye for revealing the following stock market pearl. Looking for alpha is your all-inclusive resource offering the most recent on Tesla stock cost targets, Tesla advancement, and everything Elon Musk. Evade the counter-Tesla commotion of the lamestream media. Looking for alpha is the best Tesla news source on the web. Tapping on the associate connections in the depiction and making a buy may procure our channel a bonus. Thanks for your help inspecting the perplexing of Tesla's advancements. Sandy Munro highlights how these headways position Tesla for significantly more noteworthy development. The productivity and reduced plan of the octo valve not just upgrade the vehicle's presentation, yet in addition add to broadening its reach, a basic variable, and speaking to a more extensive market by beating customary warming frameworks and even equaling contenders like the Panther 1 Pace. Tesla's answers set a new standard in productivity and space use. This not just sets Tesla's situation as a forerunner in electric vehicle innovation, yet in addition opens ways to new business sectors and valuable open doors. Additionally, Tesla's boss wiring saddles with their smoothed out plan and productive treatment of high voltage lines grandstand the organization's obligation to development and greatness as Tesla keeps on pushing limits. What's more, set new benchmarks in the car industry. Obviously, these developments will assume an essential part in driving the organization's future development and progress. Basically, productivity of Tesla's wiring bridles. Obviously, Tesla is setting new guidelines for advancement and greatness in the car business. Currently, we cherish to hear from you, our watchers. What are your considerations on Tesla's cutting-edge advancements? Do you accept these developments will drive Tesla's prosperity considerably further? Offer your perspectives in the remarks beneath, and remember to like. Furthermore, buy into Tesla stock news for more updates on Tesla's most recent advancements and improvements. Stay tuned for additional canny conversations on the fate of electric vehicles and maintainable transportation. Gratitude for watching, and see you again in our next videos.